My 25 female boyfriend, 33 male, just told me something devastating. How can I salvage this relationship? For context, me, 25 female, and my boyfriend, 33 male, have been dating for 6 months. I was single for about 8 months before dating him, and he was single for about 6 years, so we talked for about 4 months before actually going out and dating each other. These 6 months have been great, and we communicate well with each other. We love each other's families, push each other to do new things, and both share an interest in cooking and love trying new recipes together. We began spending every weekend together, and I would sleep over 2 nights out of the week. Strange little hints things were off started happening about 2 weeks ago. He would reply with shorter texts to my messages. He just got a new office and would spend time over there and cancel our weekend sleepovers, and I noticed a slight distance when we would call. Today he asked if he could drop by before going to his office and told me he was still not over his ex. For context, this was a girl he dated over 6 years ago and says she broke his heart. They worked together, and recently he's told me that he feels for her situation because she's going through a lot. He told me that it's purely emotional, and he wants to be fair to me and tell me. He told me that he wasn't sure if we needed a break so he could figure out what to do. I told him I needed a couple days to think and collect my thoughts, then promptly went inside to cry. I truly do love him and everything about him, and I want to know if this is worth trying to salvage and get hurt, or if there is no moving on past something that stings this much. How do I go about opening up a conversation asking if he wants to move on, or if this is really done? Man's not over his ex after 6 years, it's probably best if you let him figure it out on his own. He wants her, not you. Have some respect for yourself. Don't settle for being second choice and waiting around for someone. Protect your heart. Think about your future. You've only been dating 6 months. Make a clean break now. Do not speak with him. Do not hold out hope. Block, block, block. Heal and move on. Hey something super similar happened to me in my most recent relationship. It doesn't get better. If you stay, he's gonna use you as a rebound and then dump you once he's finally over her because he won't respect you. Sorry, sad face. You start your post off talking about all the great things, but here's the thing, none of those matter anymore. He's emotionally cheated on you, and is preparing to physically do so. Do not stay and beg this man for crumbs. Hi I got dumped for a woman my ex dated in high school 30 years ago. For the years we were together he never mentioned her, or not being over her, or that she was the one that got away or anything until she popped up back in the picture. He's telling you now only a few months in that he's not over her, let him go. He's telling you that you aren't his first choice. Don't let him tell you again. It's been 6 years, and he still has feelings for her, or they begun to resurface again. At least he told you, and now you can act accordingly. I would break it off. If he chose you, you may still have mistrust whenever he was off. Plus, you don't want to be an option that he wants to try someone different. You don't know that she may still try to talk to him if he chose you. Me, F, 35, wife, F, 36. 2 weeks ago my wife and I were with a group of people celebrating our friend's 40th birthday. A week after, a friend reached out to me via text message. She heard some concerning things coming from my wife directed towards me, and she was worried about me. It is an ongoing issue. I feel like she does speak poorly to me. I was honestly shocked that it was witnessed by someone, but told her I was okay and that my wife and I were okay. Well, over the last few days I've heard my wife say she feels this friend is upset with her. I hadn't said anything about the text she sent. To me it was a private conversation and completely up to me if I wanted to share with my wife. I also have no clue if this friend is even upset with my wife or if life is just busy for her right now. Well, yesterday she was looking through my phone and read the text message. Now she is mad at me. That I've lied, saying I've been keeping a secret. That she confided in me and I should have told her about the text message. I'm honestly blown away that that's all that was taken from it. Was just hoping to get some unbiased thoughts. Anyone have any input? I don't know if there is a bigger relationship red flag than your friends coming to you to ask if you are okay because your significant other is treating you like shit. Have you given any thought to what your friend said? Checkmark. Rather than being your rock, your wife shit talks you. Checkmark looks through your phone and blames you instead of acknowledging the concerns her own friend shared about her. Best case scenario, you're married to an abusive narcissist. But bruh, don't worry, you can fix her. You need to stand up for yourself and assert some boundaries. My guess is she's latched onto the text as a preemptive strike. Flip the genders around and your wife's controlling, emotionally abuse and demeaning behavior would be obvious. Most abusers are men, but some are women. You married one. She shouldn't be looking through your phone. She shouldn't speak poorly of you, and she has no business knowing about a private conversation between you and someone else if you choose to keep it private. Hey I'm a woman your age and I'm also married to a woman around the same age. She can joke and be sarcastic, as can I, but she's never just spoken poorly about me in public. She's never looked through my phone and she's never gotten mad about something I speak to my friend privately about. I don't know your entire situation, but if I were you I'd bring up marriage counseling or some other therapy to drive home the fact that her behavior is concerning. It will escalate. She's looking for reasons to belittle and control you. If she refuses therapy, I'd personally reconsider the marriage. It seems extreme, yes, but this is supposed to be your best friend. She's coming across like a petty high school mean girl. The world is cruel enough, your partner shouldn't be, too. I, 32M, am recently divorced from my partner, 28F. And I feel terrible about it. We were together for 8 years total, but married for 3 years. I genuinely thought we were doing good before we moved in together May 2021 and took that initial step to buy a house because we were engaged. Got married in 2021 and had done plenty of work on the house to make it our home. Fast forward 2 years to make it June 2024. Like any married couple, we started to have issues due to poor communication, house renovations, expectations. The whole 9 yards if you will. I struggled with finding work due to construction, painter here, and was working dead-end jobs. Got laid off a bunch due to winter slowing things down. Used savings to afford bills. I didn't mention any of this to her because as a man it's my responsibility to carry the weight. Absolutely not true. It wrecked me mentally and made things typically not issues into issues. My temper became shorter and I started to distance myself rather than talk about things with my wife. In May 2024, my wife came to me and said she wanted to talk about something. Immediately my stomach dropped and I felt sick because I knew what it was about. She mentioned to me how she wasn't happy and felt disassociated with a lot in life. We talked, I got upset, she was crying and things got said that I shouldn't have said. She said it'd be best if I left a few days to let her gather her thoughts. I did just that and stayed with family for a few days. Went back home and she felt better. Fast forward to a few months ahead and we started having problems again. Same things, different days. She mentioned about therapy and I started to go see a therapist. Now I knew I had a ton of childhood trauma like most people, but it was bad. She never wanted to go with me because she only saw me as the problem. We tried for months to make things work, to no avail, she filed for divorce. I still tried to do whatever it was I thought best to keep holding on to the marriage. A lot was reciprocated but 60% wasn't. Families slightly got involved and kept telling each of us that it's part of marriage for this to happen and we just couldn't see past things. Now we're fully divorced. She kept the house, the dog, furniture, etc. while I was forced to move out and deal with all this grief. We have been texting since I left Sunday and been more open about things compared to before. It's like now that we're not face to face, we're more comfortable to say things. I loved this woman with so much heart that I missed all the cues to her unhappiness because of dealing with my own. I wish I could go back but I can't. I'm choking up even typing this out. Part of me wants to ask her that if we're not with someone come a year from now, maybe we can try making things work again. I'm still in therapy and started pursuing church as well. There's a long road ahead of me for sure. How am I supposed to not feel terrible and move on? Is it possible to fall back in love after time apart? Too long did not read. Wife and I got divorced but I still love her completely. I want to ask her if it's even a possibility to make things work in a year if we're not with someone else by then. How can I not feel terrible? You will feel terrible for at least 2 years, in my experience. Please take a break from communicating with each other. You cannot heal while you keep cutting the wound open. It's better to part with love still between you than drag it out until you hate each other. 66Y, oh woman here. My take on this situation is that you thought as a man, you needed to be strong and not bother your life partner with your feelings and insecurities. Big mistake, as you're finding out. Going forward, continue with therapy, counseling, and understand that being vulnerable with your partner is not a weakness. My ex-husband went through a major midlife crisis and for months I went crazy trying to figure out what was wrong with him. He wasn't honest with me. He didn't talk to me. We'd still be married if he'd opened up to me more. 20 years down the drain. Communication, communication, communication. It's not a weakness. Good luck to you in the future. You gotta take a break from talking to her, dude. I know you don't want to accept that it's over, but you need to focus on the reality of the situation and on building your new, independent life. If after time has passed, she's having second thoughts, maybe you can see where things go. But she also has to get used to not being able to lean on you for companionship and emotional support now that things have changed. Gonna forward to my boyfriend as a cautionary tale. Trust is a two-way street. The second you don't trust me enough to share your struggles, thoughts, opinions, it's over. I feel untrusted, which means I'm not safe for you. And can't trust you either. Men. Open the fuck up. My 16-year marriage ended this way too. We couldn't talk about the actual issues because he didn't know how. You think you're being strong as a man by ignoring your shit? No. It's cowardice that will lose you everything. I'm so sorry, Op. Your next relationship can be saved if you keep doing the work now. Focus on that. My hubs is just like you, Op. He doesn't tell me anything about his desires, needs, wants, thoughts or feelings. Even after I've seen him at his weakest and worst moments. You're still young, so learn from this and don't repeat it. I would echo what others have said, stick to your therapy and finding the way to your own happiness. Maybe in time you can come back together, maybe not, but you'll have spent the time finding yourself, and that's what matters. Personally, I would also be cautious about church reinstilling those toxic traits that lead you to believe you had to be the one to take on so much financial stress without involving your partner. I realize not all churches and sects have this problem, and I'm possibly projecting because traditional values and conservative-based ideologies is pretty much all I ever saw from the many churches I've attended, and in my experience is not conducive to a happy and equal marriage. My wife 33, has cheated on me 37, with another woman, what next? My wife told me 2 days ago that she thinks she might be a lesbian and that she's been having an affair with a woman. We've been married almost 6 years, together 8 and a bit years and have a 4-year-old. She had said previously she'd been feeling trapped and this had been apparent with her behavior, getting very touchy with me and sometimes our son. Not to a great extent, but kids can be sensitive. I had therefore actively encouraged her to spend more time with friends, which has led to them building an emotional connection, to the extent where they have both told each other they love each other and been talking about how their lives could look like if they were together. I am devastated, broken, lost. We've not been in a great place for years, both neglecting communication and spending quality time as a couple. Nonetheless, the love has always been there. Or so I thought, I guess. And she still tells me she loves me. We're due to go on a holiday in a week and I, maybe foolishly said for my wife to cut ties with her for 3 weeks. Let's get some help on how to communicate and come on holiday as a family, as a last chance to see if we have something worth saving. This wasn't dismissed straight away. She wants to come on holiday, and I feel so sorry for my wife as I can see how confused she is, but later she said she couldn't stand the thought of not talking to the other woman for 3 weeks. She wants to spend time with her before the holiday and despite saying nothing has been physical yet, she wants to get intimate with her, saying she wants to, but it doesn't necessarily mean she will. Our son, who does have some special needs, not extreme, has been the center of our universes and he's such a strong young man, but has a super strong connection with both of us and I'm terrified what this could do to him. My wife says she knows the right thing to do is to stay but keeps coming back to saying if she doesn't explore things further, it will always be on her mind, and I do also have concerns that staying together could just be temporary as she'll do something again in the future if she hasn't ruled it out now. She says she knows what is right, but wants to explore. The further problem is she's been thinking about being intimate and likes the thought of it. We've had poor intimacy in our relationship for some time. This is so out of character for her. She was cheated on before we got together and telling me about it, and from what her friends said to me when we got together, I just can't comprehend how she can do this to me and our son. I've been an emotional wreck and been from one extreme to another over the past couple of days, as I'm guessing is normal. I'm incredibly impatient with this as my life and the relationship my son ultimately has with both his parents is up in the air, and it's eating me inside. She says she needs some space, but does space mean going to the other woman, which is ultimately going to be an exciting experience, whereas at home it's not great right now, as you'd expect. I know from reading other posts that there will be a wide variety of opinions on what I could do, but given my wife was my best friend and I don't really have much of a support network, or at least nobody else that I've ever really opened up to, I need help. So many people will say just get rid and move on, and I probably think similar if I read another post like this, but I have hope that our relationship could be salvaged if we actually worked on it rather than just being on autopilot like we have been for such a long time. I acknowledge the part I've played in not being as attentive to my wife's needs over the past years, as we have both been very guilty of neglecting trying to make things better, with what little time we spend alone together ends up being on our phones. I don't know if I should keep fighting to see if we have something worth saving. There is still an underlying love even though it's hard to accept what she's done. I don't know if I should give her space to explore her feelings and see if maybe she misses me. I don't know if I should just say we're done. I don't want her to not be a part of our son's life and I've told her that. She tears up every time she talks about not being around for him every day, but the reality is he loves where we live. It's close to his school that he starts in September and who are actively making adjustments for his needs, so this would remain his home with me until she's on her feet, at which point he could then spend some more time at her place. She's currently in the spare room for the last 2 nights. When we talk, it feels like she's made her mind up that she wants to explore, but won't tell me she doesn't want to be with me. I don't want to be a mug, but where I'm at now, I want to rebuild. Partly for me but a big part for our son. Am I being an idiot? Helpful suggestions welcomed. You need to stop feel sorry for her. She can be confused about her feeling and sexuality without cheating. She chose to cheat. Her sexuality is irrelevant. She cheated on you rather than communicating with you about the issues or making a clean break, divorce if she was so disinterested in the marriage. She's actively telling you she won't cut the AP off and that she wants to be intimate. You shouldn't have to worry about someone cheating again, and she's telling you she's going to. Hello? Wake up. Take the other person's gender out of the equation for a minute. If she can't distance herself from this person who's an active threat to your relationship, even to save the marriage, then she's already made her choice and it's not you. You at least need to acknowledge that and proceed accordingly. I'm sorry. Being bi isn't a reason to cheat. Protect yourself and get legal advice. She's moving on and you need to decide what's best for you and your son. She isn't trustworthy. Lesbian or not, her choice to cheat is what you need to focus on. She's using "realized I am lesbian" as a ploy to avoid consequences for betraying you. Now she's not a pathetic cheater, but a strong woman exploring her true self. You need to prioritize yourself and your son. Speak to a lawyer for advice and options. And yes, initiate the divorce. She is already emotionally gone, but stringing you along feels like she is softening her guilt at the cost of your sanity.